Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Limbus Company video. Today we'll be talking about the new Ring Fauvist Rodion, and what she brings to the table for the ring. What that is something valuable enough for me to say that she's pretty much a staple for constructing a ring team as a whole. So what exactly is it that she offers? Well, it's the one thing the ring wants the most of: negative status effects. The most valuable aspect about her is that she comes with not one, not two, but 4 unique negative debuffs, and that combined with the ring's natural bleed application, plus any other random status effects that they are more than capable of applying themselves, makes it so that all you really need is her alone, and you have more than enough negative status effects to permanently activate all of the ring's conditional effects. So I suppose the first order of business is to go down the line and discuss each of these debuffs one by one. First we have Mold Color Rouge. This is currently the only one of these debuffs that is not unique to Rodion, as Marcel is also capable of applying it, but it is by far the most valuable of the 4. This is because it's the easiest to apply, and it gives up to 3 extra bleed potency per turn, which is never something to refuse for any bleed team. It also applies defense level down, which is always welcome since the ring loves to have as many debuffs as possible. The second debuff is also very similar, being Mold Color Blue, which is basically the exact same thing as Rouge, but for sinking instead of bleed. The third is Touche Hardy, which is only applied by her skill 3, skill 2, or her defense skill if she's attacking an enemy with at least 5 negative debuffs, or 6 in regards to her defense skill. This actually has a fairly powerful effect in that it increases the amount of damage done by both sinking and bleed by up to 20%. This isn't the first instance of such an effect in the game, but it is the first instance of it being applicable outside of the Mirror Dungeon, and it's powerful enough to the point where I would say it alone is reason enough for Rodion to be used outside of a ring team. I mean, it's self-explanatory that an effect that boosts the damage beyond the cap of something that has a capped damage threshold would be very strong. And the fourth and final status effect is Palette Vibrant, which is only applied once an enemy has all 3 of the previous status effects applied to them. This effect is also pretty simple, as it randomly applies bleed or sinking at the start of combat, but most importantly, it gives a damage buff to all ring identities, and an even stronger buff to specifically Fauvist ones. And all of these debuffs together serve as the main reason why you would even want to run this identity in the first place. Because, as I said earlier, it makes activating all of the ring's conditional effects incredibly simple, as almost all of them are tied to how many debuffs an enemy has. But how do you actually use Rodion? She has a lot more going on than simply applying debuffs, although it does pretty much revolve entirely around that. She wants to consistently be attacking an enemy with at least 6 negative debuffs, as that allows her to apply all of her status effects, but also it gives her the ability to use her enhanced skill 3 and defense skill. Her skill 3, like with most enhanced skills, simply get better numbers across the board, but it also gains attack weight and unfocused volley, with only the final coin being able to hit all enemies at once. It's pretty powerful, but still fairly standard for an enhanced skill 3, I'd say. Her defense skill, however, becomes Critique, which, in addition to giving unique buffs to specifically Marcel, it's definitely her strongest skill, with the only exception being her skill 3. This is because it does everything her other skills do, but better, as it has better damage modifiers, applies all of her unique debuffs, and has 3 coins as opposed to only 2. Of course, most of this is dependent on the enemy having at least 6 debuffs already, so if that hasn't been achieved yet, her skill 2 is still the better choice, but the longer a fight goes on, the better her critique will end up being. Especially because once her reflection status effect has expired, which is an effect applied by critique that basically only serves to prevent her from spamming it every turn, she gains Le Homage equal to the number of ring students present up to 3. This gives her extra offense level, but like with almost everything in this game, the numbers are incredibly underwhelming, but it's still better than nothing, I suppose, so there's no real reason not to spam critique whenever you get the opportunity to. And finally, the last aspect of her kit worth talking about is that once she has inflicted Palette Vibrant 3 times, used Critique 2 times, or used her enhanced skill 3 once, she gains a status effect that gives her more speed and even more sinking and bleed application. It doesn't do too much, but it does help to support bleed further, and you know how the ring loves all their debuffs. That's pretty much all I have to say about this identity. She's very good at supporting the ring and also bleed in general. and has enough unique effects that she can hold her own outside of a ring-centric team. In any case, I have nothing else to really talk about, so enjoy this mirror match, I suppose.
임파스터.
저건 아르카나의 스프레드에
어디에서도 볼 수 없을 색채로. 구경 좀 해볼까?
개체들의 체력이 많이 깎여나갔어. 괴로워하는 게 느껴지지 않아? 이 기세로 계속 나아가보자.
임파스터.
있잖아. 사실 마법 소녀들은 항상 인력난에 시달리거든.
어디에서도
내가
볼 수
정말
없을
있으면
색채로. 어중간한 예술.
대성공이야. 칼은 신나. 노래 부를까?
어중간한 예술. 좋아.
대박.
이걸로 감상은 끝.
간지였는데.
어디에서도 볼 수 없을 색채로. 왜? 좀 아듀.
자, 테디. 나를 따라해볼 거야. 짜잔. 와, 방금 어떻게 하신 거죠? 깜짝 놀랐어요.
내렸다. 정렬. 원칙적으로.
그래, 그렇게 시원하게 처리해 보는 맛이
어중간한 예술.
일처리를 마르게 하는
내가 공기력 때문에 내장
나라도 그랬을
특별히
거야.
보여줄게.
헤세드 같은 놈들은 이 광경을 좀 봐야 해.
어디에서도 볼 수 없을 색채. 내렸다. 정렬. 원색적으로.
징계팀 직원이라면 당연한 판단이긴 해. 잘한다는 칭찬은 생각하는 게 좋다.
어중간한 예술. 물어뜯어 고칠 수밖에.
방금 공격은 좋았어. 이대로만 계속해보면 좋을 텐데.
이번에도 멋지게 해냈네. 엔젤라님에게 잔뜩 칭찬을 들었겠어?
이 날카롭고 거친 궤적, 뜯겨나간 실처럼 엉망진창으로 도려내진 이 흉터들. 설마 거미집이 성공한 거야? 잠깐, 그럼 이럴 때가 아니지. 돌아가서 마에스트로 씨에게 말해줘야 해. 이 복도 어딘가에 모든 손가락이 탐낼 만한 걸작이 있다는 걸.
Anyway, that's it for me. Like and subscribe for more videos like this one. Goodbye.